Hello and welcome to the United Stand Skype Goldbridge. Can Manchester United win the league? Do we want Patrice Evra back? And pretty much anything you want to talk about as well. That's what Skype Goldbridge is all about. Let's get into it. Let's get the live comments up for a start. That's always important. And there has been a slight change in relation to the get your words out, Mark. The Skype name, it was Mark Goldbridge. It was causing a lot of problems, so I've just changed it. It's now Skype Goldbridge, so very easy to remember and very easy to get involved with. We're up and running. I just want to check something for my own use. Let's have a look. That should be up and working. That is working, that's great. I want to check something because we're talking about can Manchester United win the league. It's still 0-0 in the Spurs game and Spurs and Chelsea after half an hour, so we can win the league. I'm going to open up Skype Goldbridge in a minute. I haven't even opened up Skype for a reason because I just want to have a little chat with you for a couple of minutes first. Can Manchester United win the league? Any questions you want to ask as well? We've got a guest you might recognise in a few minutes' time as well. But can Manchester United win the league? It might seem like a silly question to some people. I certainly have my thoughts on it, but the reality is we are currently 10 points off Chelsea. If they lost tonight, we were 10 points off Chelsea. They've got to play Liverpool away very soon. They've got to play us. You know, it can be chipped away at. My personal thoughts are that we can do it, and knowing what Jose Mourinho's like, he will say no in his mind. He won't talk about it, but in his mind, he will be like, we can do this, and he won't have given up on that yet. My concern is just Liverpool. I mean, they're ahead of us at the moment. I don't really want them to get anywhere near the title, and it's a risk. It is a risk that if Chelsea start losing, they are ahead of us, but I don't think they'll be ahead of us for much longer. So it'd be interesting to see what happens on that. Patrice Evra, I just want to talk about because I know a lot of you will be. I'm split on this. Massive fan of Patrice Evra, but what I would say is that Ferdinand started it off by saying, I've heard rumours that he might be coming back. Evra didn't kill those rumours. But Evra's in his mid-30s now. When he left Manchester United, I didn't want him to go. I've always liked Evra. But I specifically remember, and some of you might remember as well, that when Patrice Evra in his last 18 months was here, on Twitter, wherever, fans were getting on his back. He was dividing opinion. A lot of fans were getting fed up of him, saying all he does is run forward. He never gets back and does his defensive duties. He's too old for the Premier League. He's too slow for the Premier League. He needs to get rid of him. He shouldn't be playing. And that was a large percentage of United fans. I wouldn't say it was 50-50, but it was around 30 to 40% of fans who not necessarily wanted him gone, but felt he was finished. So to now want him back, effectively 3 years later, surely those fans don't want him back. All I would say is he lives, bleeds, breathes Manchester United. He gets what Manchester United is. He's a leader. He's a great character. Nostalgia reasons you might want him back. But I'm open to what you lot think tonight. I'm not going to tell you either way what I think about it because I am open to both. I'm going to open up Skype. It's a new thing we've set up. No, it's called Skype. I am going to open it up. Hopefully we won't get loads of lag tonight because I've got a few things running. Hello to everybody who's watching on Facebook. We should be live on that as well. But the name is Skype Goldbridge on Skype, and I think we got a phone call straight away from Avenger 1280. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi mate, you're live on the United Stand. What was it you wanted to say?
I just want to talk transfers.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. He wants to talk about transfers. The transfer window is open. Lots going on. Can I just ask you, first of all, what's your thoughts on Patrice Evra coming back to Manchester United? Would you want him?
Not really, because he's old.
Too old for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And what else was it you wanted to talk about?
Just wanted to talk, who would you rather have, Griezmann or Dybala?
Griezmann or Dybala? It's a good question. Who would you go for?
I'd love both of these. I love any of them, but I'd take Dybala just simply because he can play in the advanced playmaker.
He's a better finisher, isn't he? Really, as well. I mean, I've not seen loads of Dybala, but I think he's a better finisher. Would that be fair to say? Better at scoring the goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not. I don't think we're really linked to him. I do think we'll be signing Griezmann. I presume you wouldn't be disappointed if we got Griezmann at Manchester United, one of the star players in world football at the moment.
Mhm.
Griezmann,
Yeah,
you'd be happy with him?
yeah.
And I'll just ask you as well, just before you go, what do you think Manchester United can win the title this year, or do you think it's too far away?
You never know. At the moment, not really focusing on the title. But if we can finish top four and above Liverpool, I'd take it, and maybe a trophy.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some trophies to be won. Where are you phoning from, pal? Our first caller of the night?
Zambia.
Zambia, our first caller, and it's an international one. Thanks for being our first caller, and please do call in again.
All right.
Cheers, pal. Thank
Cheers to
you.
me. Thank you.
Good call. It is your show. People might say, "Oh, why are we talking about Dybala, this, that, and the other?" But Dybala is a name that's mentioned quite a lot. My mind has gone blank, but there is another striker I quite like the look at in Italy. He's Argentinian. Didn't get in the squad because he fell out with a player in the squad for going off with his wife. I can picture him, but I can't think what his name is. Somebody will tell me very quickly. But yeah, let's take another call, but somebody will put it in there. I'm sure. The new name is not Mark Goldbridge. People might be searching for that on Skype. It is Skype Goldbridge now. Just let's make it quite easy for you to find us. It's Skype Goldbridge, all one word. That is the Skype name. So if you're calling it off the old one, you won't find it. It's Skype Goldbridge. It's not Higuain, H. Sinclair. Icardi, that's who it is. The Madden trader has got it for me. So let's take another phone call or another Skype call. My mouse is a little bit slow. It's not Higuain, it's Icardi. Duke Dolman, can you hear me?
Absolutely. Hi, Mark.
Hi. Lovely tones and clear audio. What was it you wanted to say?
Well, I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I hail from Surrey in England, but live in the frozen north of Canada, much like your friend, the Draughty Devil. But enough about that. I want to talk about Chelsea. If you look at their fixtures over the course of the next month, they have to face, apart from us, all the other big guns. Although it's a little too early to be talking about a title challenge, let's talk about momentum. We had our stumble early in the season when we were cutting our teeth and learning our trade, when this side was being forged as the Jose era United. Now we are on the rise, and Spurs, bottlers, Arsenal, big-time bottlers, they are going to fall, and we will rise like a phoenix from the ashes, and we will get our shot.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you've pointed out what I'd probably pointed out quite badly when I opened the show. We are 10 points off Chelsea at the moment. They're currently playing. If they win or draw, they'll be 11 points or 12 points clear of us. So, that is a lot. It's 4 results. However, there are, as you say, tough games for them. Chelsea, Leicester, they've got to play us. They'll have to play everybody else as well. And as you say, with that momentum, I don't really know. I'm throwing this out as a question to everybody else if they want to answer it tonight. But I certainly, knowing what Mourinho's like, it will certainly be in his head that the title is still there to be won. It's a big ask, but I don't think it's impossible, which is why we posed the question, really.
Well, if I can cut in there, I'd like to reiterate something you said before Jose started with Manchester United, which is it's a match made in heaven. Jose's a wounded animal. We've been let down for 3 years, and the two combined is a combustible situation. Jose is keeping his cool. He's not getting ahead of himself, but you know as well as I that he would love nothing more than to knock Conte off his perch, especially for the way he was behaving in that unfortunate 4-0 defeat earlier in the season. We can't count our chickens too early, but with Zlatan firing the way he is, I am quietly confident that we can upset the teams above us.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And also, let's not forget Costa and his comment the other day saying that it makes a big difference when you've got a manager that you like. Another, subtle dig at Mourinho. So, yeah, I agree with you. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't know whether you do. We were talking about it a few days ago that, people say I talk about Liverpool too much, but I grew up with Sir Alex Ferguson, who was the worst loser out there. He hated losing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being competitive, bitter and having a bad attitude to losing when you're in sport. I think that that's most greats will be like that.
At the end of the day, Mark, people will heckle you because you wear your heart on your sleeve. But there's a reason this channel has done as well as it has, and that's the raw, unbridled passion and the ferocity of opinion. So you keep doing what you're doing, and we'll keep liking the videos, commenting, and subscribing.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. The comments are going mad for your vocals. I mean, obviously we haven't got any visuals, but we'd certainly like you to come back on the show. I can't see because my Skype thing's gone there. But if you want to drop me an email or a Twitter, we'll certainly sort out getting you back on, because I think what a debut! I think it was absolutely fantastic. So thanks for coming on.
Much.
Thanks for coming on, and get in touch.
All the best.
Cheers,
Don't forget
pal.
to subscribe.
Thank you, pal. And to Mad Marcus, that is sacrilegious what he's just said. He's just said that. In fact, G, you can also message me on Skype. That's a good one. But to say that call was scripted, ridiculous. Yeah, I tell you what, he put Goldbridge in his place. That's not many people have come on and done that. Absolutely fantastic voice. I could listen to it all night, even if he was reading out Kenny Dalglish's autobiography. But without further ado, it's still 0-0. I'm keeping an eye on the Chelsea game. Who knows what result we really actually want in that game? It is a difficult one, isn't it? But let's get Jamie Somerville on. Jamie, can you hear me?
Hello, Mark.
Hello, Jamie. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm just watching the stream at the moment, and I found your channel the other day while I think it was on the Tottenham game when it wasn't very good. It started lagging, so I didn't watch it for a few times. But I really liked how the comments on that video were so active, and I watched Full Time Devils as well. I had before I found you, and the amount of comments that are on this, it seems like you get more comments and more passion on this, although it's the same set of fans.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? There has been issues in the past that they're well resolved, and there's plenty of room for both. And I think the great thing is that there's a world of difference between what they do and what we do, and I think that complements each other quite well. But you're right, we can't do this channel without all of you lot. The comment section is unique. It's nothing to do with, there are other fan channels out there, and they pale into significance compared to this one, because everyone does come on and say what they want to say. Can I ask you though, Patrice Evra, you sound to me like you're a younger United supporter, so you may not know or remember much about Patrice. Would you want him back at Manchester United, or do you think it's time to look ahead and look at newer options?
Well, I think getting Patrice Evra back as sort of defensive coach would be more useful than getting him as a actual defender.
Yes, that is a good point, and I think that's what I sort of tweeted out earlier. Is that whatever you think about Evra, his leadership and personality at United, we don't have loads of those, and I think that was the problem United had under Moyes, is we let too many leaders go. Ferdinand, Giggs, Vidic, Evra, very, very close together. That Evra coming back, maybe as a coach, maybe as a player coach, a backup player would be good. But it definitely is an issue around... I just find it funny today. So many people want him back. But I remember 3 years ago, 4 years ago, a lot of fans were saying he was finished. So it'd be interesting. But and also, just quickly, do you think we can win the league this year, or do you think we should just be going for top 4 and a couple of cups?
I think we should go for top 4, as I would prefer today. If Chelsea win, I feel that our title hopes might be over, but then also Chelsea winning is going to destroy Liverpool's title hopes, in my opinion, and as Liverpool's our biggest rivals, I'd prefer that and our title hopes being ruined instead of them having a chance to win the league.
No, I agree. I think maybe we're just not in a right sort of position at the moment to decide about the league, because we've very quickly, probably in the space of 2 or 3 weeks, we've gone from we need to really motor just to try and fight for 4th, and now results have gone our way. We've played really well and got some fantastic results, and then suddenly things are on our way. In fact, Tottenham have gone 1-0 up, so it is interesting. But thanks for calling, pal. Jamie, where are you calling from?
Somerset.
Well, thanks for calling. Keep watching, keep calling, keep commenting, and I'm glad you enjoy the content we provide.
Okay.
Cheers,
Bye.
pal. Thank you.
Bye.
I'm going to take another caller in a minute, but I must say, you just reminded me actually, talking about the United stand. Obviously, throughout January, we've started doing these videos in the morning, the transfer shows. Most of you will get up and it will be gone. It will already be up. I was live for the last 2 days at 6:30. Tomorrow it won't be so early. So those late risers, students, keep your mouth shut. You're not going to be up. It's not going to be after 11 o'clock. So it'll be about 7 o'clock tomorrow because I've got a funeral tomorrow to go to. So I don't plan on getting up at 6 o'clock. I'm going to get up a little bit later because I've got to drive up to that for 11. But yeah, so that'll be 7 o'clock tomorrow. But every other day it'll be about 6:30, talking about what's happened overnight with the transfers and the stuff for today. I am waiting for Tell to call in if he is. I know he messaged me earlier and I did see him there. I specifically want to get his opinion on something, so hopefully he will ring in. But let's have a look at some of your comments. If Messi had to go to City, how would he play? Says Creelan. I don't think Messi would go anywhere near City. Let's go Spurs. Lots of people. Rudolph's happy with Spurs being 1-0 up as well. I'm not so happy. I mean, I think the minimum I would settle for is a draw. We don't want Liverpool, getting their hopes up again. Although their next league game is us, so reality is, the ball is in our court with that, isn't it? Hello, Terry. Can you hear me?
It's Cam, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. You?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. Well, Spurs have just gone 1-0 up, mate. So yeah, happy days.
You wanted Spurs to get the result, did you?
Well, do you know what? I think, obviously, we want to catch Spurs. Maybe a draw is a better result. But I think that if Chelsea could lose a couple of games in the next few weeks, it could open up a 6-team race for the title. And, it's great at the moment. You've got 5 teams fighting for top 4. Wouldn't it just be amazing if you could have all 6 of the top 6 fighting out for the league title? It'd just be something a little bit special to be part of. So I think it's a good result for everybody if Spurs pick up 3 points tonight.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. If it stayed as it was now, we would be 3 points behind Spurs again. They'd go up to 4th. Arsenal drop to 5th with 2 points behind them. We can be 2 points behind Liverpool. If we beat them, we'd be 10 points off Chelsea. We've got to play Chelsea. It would, no one's catching that top 6. It would open it wide up. But as I said before, it's a difficult one. I think many of us are still in that mentality where we didn't think we were in a title race and it was Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea. And you probably would want Chelsea. But, it's going to be interesting. The next thing I wanted to ask you was, we sort of touched on it there. Do you seriously think Manchester United could win the league this year? Or do you think we should be, happy that we've got back in the top 4 race and be focusing on cups?
I think that I think we should be happy that we're back in the top 4 race. Winning these 6 games on the bounce has been excellent, not just for the league position and what it means, but it's just been great for United fans to have a bit of prolonged happiness. It feels it's been 3 or 4 years since that. To be in the title race, we need to keep winning, obviously. Chelsea just need to lose a couple of games. At the moment, I think they feel invincible. This is why losing to Tottenham tonight could be so important, because it just damages that little bit air of invincibility. They've leaked goals recently, or at least chances against teams. Lose today would do that. But I think United are still in with a chance. Where I work today, a few of the older heads in the office were looking at odds on United to win the league at sort of between 16 and 20 to 1, and they were all sticking a few quid on it. And these are sort of fans of all types of football clubs. So I think people out there in the wider public think that United are definitely on their way back to being the Man United we all saw for the last 25 years.
Yeah, 16 to 1, it is probably worth a couple of quid. Lots of people now wanting Spurs to win. In fact, somebody said it's... Well, no, I'm not going to go with that. Patrice Evra is back in the news. He's always in the news with his videos. But would you want him back at Manchester United?
I've been listening to what you... I listened to what you sort of tweeted earlier, read what you tweeted, and what you've said on the show tonight. And I think that I was probably in that camp. I thought that in David Moyes' season, I thought Evra looked past his best. But he's kind of gone away, got rejuvenated. In Italy, I've seen him in the Champions League and he's looked pretty good. I think that he could do a job at Manchester United. I think that maybe David Moyes' tactics probably played a part. There was a lot of old men, a lot of old legs in the team in sort of 2013, 2014, which maybe didn't help. There's a lot more youth, a lot more vigour. a lot more energy and pace in the team now that could support Patrice Evra. In terms of that, so I think he'd do okay on the football pitch. As I still want Luke Shaw to be the player that we give another 18 months to see if he can get over these injuries. You've seen last season with Chris Smalling, if you can get a player to have a run of games, I would hate to see Luke Shaw leave and then get a run of games somewhere else and turn into the left back we all thought he could be. But Evra would be a great sort of cover. He's going to be better than Darmian. I think he's got a bit more about him going forward than what Daley Blind has. But also, Uncle Pat, as Paul Pogba calls him, I think what he would bring into the dressing room is something that Man United need. I think we got it with Zlatan. You kind of got it with Schweinsteiger, although he's not involved in match days so much. But I think he brings an extra edge, and he knows the club. And plus, these Instagram videos are the bollocks, mate. I love them. So it's all good.
Yeah, he lives and breathes the club, and I think that sort of leadership probably is why some people are falling into the nostalgia trap, really, with it. My concern is there was a lot of people who wanted him gone 3 years ago, and he's 3 years older. But, I don't care. If he comes back, I think it'd be great. But Luke Shaw should be the future, that's for sure. I mean, one thing I would say is that I was reading today, there was quite a lot of negativity around Evra and then Vidic. People saying that Evra can basically F off if he wants to come back. The going got tough under Moyes and him and Vidic left. I don't really interpret it like that. I don't interpret it like that at all. I mean, you've got Vidic being told to study Jagielka. He retired Ferdinand and Evra. I put that blame on Moyes. But do you think there is a little bit of that?
Well, Evra signed a new deal with Louis van Gaal. And I remember he signed the new deal, and I remember doing a car cam video on it, buzzing. And about a week later, we sold him. Now, the man doesn't sign a new deal if he's thinking of leaving. Not Patrice Evra, not the way he feels about the club. I think he's had a conversation with LVG, and he said, because we signed him, and you're a bit part player. No, we signed him a week later. We signed him, signed the new deal, and then Luke Shaw signed a few weeks later. He knew that Daley Blind was coming in as well, and he's been. I think he's been told by Louis van Gaal, "You're not really in my plans," so he's gone. Vidic, I do think we've gone. I think physically, after his cruciate injury on his knee, he was never the same player. So I don't blame him or moan at him for going. But you're always going to get fans like that. Do you know what I mean? There are still people that believe that Wayne Rooney has put in 2 transfer requests, even though he hasn't. Like, some people they read something in the newspapers and it becomes gospel for them, and there's never no getting away from it. But Evra loves the club, you can tell. And he didn't leave because the going got tough, because David Moyes had been sacked. It's before LVG even started, and we all had quite a bit of optimism at that point. Well, I certainly did. That bit me in the backside quite a bit.
I could talk to you for a long time, Tel, but I've got to get some others on. Do phone in again. We'll try and get you on a different show as well. But thanks for coming on. And obviously, people can find Tel if they want to on. I always get mixed up. Is it the Football Terrace now? Because you're covering all, not just United, it's everything.
Yeah, the Football Terrace. You can check it out. Check out our recent video, excuse the swear word, on why Pep Guardiola is a whining little bitch. Go and check that out. I think it's quite funny if I do indulge so much. But mate, Mark, cheers for having me on, mate. I appreciate it.
No worries. Cheers, Tel, and I'll speak to you soon. I was breaking up a little bit at the end there, but why is Pep Guardiola a whining bitch? He just is. I think we tweeted something from the Draughty Devil as well earlier, which is on our Twitter account, which is very, very funny. Okay, we've done Patrice Evra and Manchester United's title to death, haven't we? So what we want now is somebody to come on and give us something a little bit different. Indie Tagger, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're live on the United Stand.
Oh, hello.
Hello, what was it you wanted to say?
It's my first time. Yeah, so it was about Patrice Evra. So I think, he'll be good. Because if you have, Patrice Evra, then I said this last season about, Luke Shaw, how he needs, some experience. So if you bring Patrice Evra, he could help out.
Yeah, I think that is something that I probably would agree with, really, is that it's there's no future in Patrice Evra, but then again, you could argue there's no future in Zlatan, and the future is only what is irrelevant, because it's the present that counts. And I think that I certainly wouldn't be opposed to Evra coming back. I can understand the concerns, but I wouldn't be opposed to him coming back, because he just brings so much experience, quality, personality. But I don't think. I mean, I don't know what you think. I don't think he can play week in, week out in the Premier League.
Yeah. Also, do you think if we do sign Griezmann, then what about Zlatan? Because where does Griezmann play? Does he play as like a main striker, right wing or left wing, or do you play two strikers?
People have a different interpretation of where Griezmann plays. I haven't done my FIFA stream for a while. It will be back, but I've got Griezmann in my team and I've got Aubameyang up front, and Griezmann plays behind as like a number 10. I see Griezmann as Rooney's replacement in behind whoever's going to play at number 9. So it could be Zlatan, it could be Rashford, but he can also play left or right. What he can't do is he can't play the Herrera or Pog position. He's definitely he can play up front, but for me, he's in behind the forward or he's either side of there. But people have different ideas about Griezmann, but you could certainly play Griezmann and Zlatan in the same team. Pogba, Martial, Mkhitaryan, and maybe a Carrick sort of holding the midfield. That, you know what, if I was talking about what my Manchester United team would be next year, and some people might knock me down for this, but it would be Carrick or a Carrick replacement. It would be Pogba box to box. It would be Griezmann behind Zlatan, and then it would be Mkhitaryan and Martial. Certainly for home games, anyway.
Yeah. By the way, sorry for being so nervous. By the way, I never expected for you to actually answer.
It's all right. You know, everybody's welcome on the United stand. Where is it you're phoning from, Indy?
Calling from the UK.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for calling in. First time, second time, you'll be a lot better. But don't worry about it. It was absolutely superb.
Yeah. I'll try again. I'll be more confident next time.
You've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I did write in the comments a few times that I'm shaking.
Don't worry about it, mate. You know, it's nothing to worry about doing this sort of thing, and you're welcome on any time.
Yeah, thanks.
Cheers, pal. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay.
James Richardson says we need a Chelsea draw tonight. I would hope that we get a Chelsea draw tonight. I'd be amazed if Spurs actually won, because they tend to be big game bottlers, and I was looking at whether it was Harry Kane who scored, but typically it wasn't Harry Kane. He'd probably score in the second half. But, Chelsea have had a fantastic run as well, let's not forget. And, everything has to come to the end at some point. Hello, is it Leanne or Luan Hayden?
Hello,
you're on the United stand. What's the name? Sorry, I don't want to be rude and get it wrong.
Ryan.
Yayan, sorry. Terrible. By me, that is. What was it you wanted to say, Ian?
Well, I wanted to talk about the possible summer signings instead of Griezmann.
Okay, good. What thoughts do you have on that?
I think we should bring in Matuidi.
Yeah. Now Matuidi. Just to say about Matuidi very quickly, is I've heard a couple of people going on about him. You do realise he's 30 in the summer. I mean, you probably do, but I think some people mention Matuidi like he's like a big hope for the future to replace Carrick, but he's 30. But I presume you were aware of that.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. That he'd be a good replacement for Carrick.
Yeah.
And I think that he would just be good all round for the squad.
Yeah, he is. He's a fantastic option in that midfield, the sort of Kante sort of player. And did you have anybody else in mind, maybe in the summer or?
I'm not sure really, but about Patrice Evra.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that it'd be great if he came to the squad, as he has a great attitude and has lots of experience.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people sort of going down that route, that he certainly would offer some leadership in the squad, which we don't necessarily have a lot of old heads in there. You've got Carrick, you've got Zlatan, Rooney when he's involved, but we've got a lot of young players, and I think Evra, Uncle Pat is what they call him, isn't it? Would be great for that sort of reason. I'm not sure whether he can actually play week in, week out in the fast-paced Premier League.
Yeah.
Where are you calling? Sorry, Ewan, go on.
We don't have very good left back, so I think that it would be great in that position. He also has lots of chemistry with Paul Pogba.
He does, you're right. Yeah, they get on very well, and he knows Manchester United like the back of his hand, so there wouldn't be any issues about him settling in. What you also must remember is people talk about Luke Shaw, and I think Luke Shaw is a great left back, but what people also forget is Borthwick Jackson actually did nothing wrong last year. I thought he was a breath of fresh air down the left. He's got a very good left foot. He's got a good cross on him, better cross than Luke Shaw. He's quite a big lad. He's still very young. I think he's got a lot of potential, and we do need a left back, and it'd be fantastic if another young player come through. I don't know what it is about Borthwick Jackson. I think some people, for some reason, just don't put him in the same category as a Fosu Mensah or a Rashford or a Pereira or a Twansibi. But I think he's got a chance. He's certainly got a chance.
Yeah.
We just have to see what would happen, really. Thanks for calling in, Ewan. Where are you calling from?
Wales.
Wales, of course you are with a name like that. I don't know why I read it as an L, but thanks for coming on, pal, and please do call in again. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Pogba and Griezmann are the best mates too as well, George, you're right. And Kroos will never come, says Schwarzweiss Rot. Although I did see something ridiculous today that Tony Kroos is good friends with Ollie Mers. Ollie Mers is the most embarrassing celebrity Manchester United fan there is, and but he has got connections with Tony Kroos, so maybe we can get Ollie to get off his arse and spin some magic there. Mark, do you think we have a chance to win the title this year? Says Faye Rizal. Everybody's got a chance, it's not mathematically impossible yet, but we can certainly. I'd have to sort of expand on that a little bit more, I suppose. But Neve wanted to come on. Neve, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, you're live on the United Stand, Neve. What was it you wanted to say?
Hello?
Hello?
Well, hello?
Hello, you're on, yeah.
Well, I think Griezmann would be great for Manchester United.
Yeah, I think he's coming in the summer. I don't know what you think, but I do. I think he's 100% going to end up at United, and he would be a fantastic signing.
Yeah.
Hi, you're live on the United Stand, Neve. What was it?
Pardon, what was that?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, yeah, I can hear you again now. Sorry, it was getting a bit of a back feed there. Where would you play Griezmann if he came to United? Would you be playing him up front, or would you rather see him on the wing?
I actually don't know. I'd probably play him as a number 10 for Rooney's replacement.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's exactly the right sort of place to play him. And what about what was I going to say? What about United winning the league then? Because we were just talking about that. Do you think we can do that, or do you think we should just be focusing on top four in a cup this year?
Well, I think we could do it, but I would say probably go ahead for top four, because most of the boys in my year keep saying that United are rubbish because they're mostly all Liverpool supporters and Scousers and all. So.
Yeah, that's horrible, isn't it? It's going to school with Scousers. It's it's surely a form of abuse. What year are you in?
Well, it's different over here in Northern Ireland. So
Hello.
I'm in fourth year.
Fourth year, okay. It's breaking up, Neve, unfortunately, but loving the Northern Irish. I hope you're phoning from Northern Ireland. I presume you are.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for calling in, and please do call in again.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Neve. If you want to have a real life, just watch Blue Moon Rising interview some shitty Scousers, says Supreme. Blue Moon Rising, I mean, are they still running? I know they're run by the same people who run many of the fan channels, and they've got a lot of money behind them, a bit like City, but they don't get many views. Neve will take over Mark's position. Print this, tweet this, says George Kyle. Sean Goss is a good replacement, Jonathan Aponza, for Carrick. Scousers are all scruff, says Kieran Kennedy. And Muller in Rooney, Tara. What about Philippe Luis? No one is talking about him. Mourinho quite likes his left-back style. He brought him to Chelsea, so why not Manchester United, says Popped Havoc? Because I think he was one of their flops. He was one of his flop signings, really, wasn't he? So I don't think he'd bring him back. Maybe I'm wrong. What happened to Fabinho, says Victor Sidiali. I think he may have signed a new contract at Monaco, but he's not going to come to United in January anyway, because Monaco are still in the Champions League, aren't they? It's a bit like Bakayoko, who I think is a good option in the midfield. Bit like a Matuidi, Kante sort of player, but he's 20. I think he's 22. But again, he's reiterated that he's not going to go anywhere until the season is over. The Skype name has changed tonight. I've changed it to Skype Goldbridge because people were struggling with Mark Goldbridge, so it is Skype Goldbridge. Loving the comments about having to go to the he sold him, popped off. Havoc. Mark, what do you think about Rojo and Jones? Do we need a new centre back? Says Caps La Palma 1998. I think we do, and I still think that we're going to get hold of Lindelof. I still think that deal will happen. And Christian says Griezmann can play all over the attacking line, so we have many areas we can use him if we need to fill a position due to injury or whatever. As I said last night about Griezmann, when the season started, I 100% wanted Griezmann to be our signing of the summer. So hopefully with this one. Josh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Hi, how you doing, pal?
Oh, not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm very good. You're a little bit quiet, so if you could just speak up a bit. But what was it you wanted to talk about, mate?
Oh, just the Carrick replacement.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. I'm interested in this. Who have you got in mind? Michael Carrick's replacement then? Because, we're running out of time with it. We've spoke about it for a long time. Who do you think could be a good replacement for Michael Carrick?
Yeah, I've been thinking of this for a couple of months, but I found him on Football Manager. He plays at one of the Brazilian teams. His name's Thiago Maia, or Maia. He plays defensive midfield. He's 19, and I think he's like about 30 million, but he can do the job, I reckon.
Thiago Maia.
Yep. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it seems like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got it. Maia. This is the wonders of the internet. So he's 19, and his current team is Santos. And also known as Thiago Maia, Brazilian footballer, plays defensive midfielder. Let's just have a look if there's anything about him. What Liverpool, one of 5 clubs keen on Santos midfielder Thiago Maia. Let's have a look. One of 5 European clubs interested in signing Santos midfielder Thiago Maia, 19. Also is Schalke, Napoli, Zenit St. Petersburg and others. So some little clubs interested in him, if I'm totally honest. But there's one. Anybody else in mind?
I had one, but I forgot who it was. Obviously the obvious replacement, Fosu Mensah, but it's going down the route of what Mourinho wants to do.
I think that's an interesting point. I think we love talking about transfers on this show. Summer and January, it's fantastic. But if you're asking me what I would rather sign whoever or put Fosu Mensah in there, I'd love to see Fosu Mensah in that position. I think he's more than capable of doing it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, he is easily.
But it's just whether he'll do it. I mean, we probably do. What I would say is you've also got to remember that if we sell Schneidlin, which we're going to, Schweinsteiger's not going to be here long, whether he stays anyway. Carrick's not going to be here long. So actually, it's not just a Carrick replacement. We're probably going to lose 3 centre midfielders. Fellaini's still here and classed as a centre midfielder. So it wouldn't be just Fosu Mensah anyway. We do need to be looking at at least 1 or 2. Lots of people mention this Weigl at Dortmund, who I was told has just signed a new contract, but loads of you keep messaging me about it, saying he's the perfect Carrick replacement at Dortmund. Eric Dyer says Smash Rel. I'm not convinced about him. He's been struggling to get in the Spurs team lately and has been outed as a bottler because apparently he was going to have a pop at Herrera and then he said it was a misunderstanding. But where are you calling from, Josh? You sound like you're from South Africa. Is that right? Hello? I think we lost Josh. That's a shame. Maybe he wasn't from South Africa. Who knows? Oh, Matthew, I was just about to hit your call then because Strootman's the new Carrick. Kevin Strootman. Memphis 7. Kevin Strootman, new Carrick. I always liked Strootman. I think he was going to be a great player, but I think I've not really kept an eye on him since the summer before last when I thought Van Gaal might sign him because Van Gaal loved him. But I've not really kept much of an idea on him. MA7 Football says it's pronounced Weigl. So I don't really know what he's been up to. recently, Strootman, but I don't think we'll get him. I think his knee injuries have sort of ruined him. What I would say is that Thomas Muller has been mentioned today. Mateus coming out and saying that Bayern Munich, he hasn't got a place at Bayern Munich in Ancelotti's rigid system. I think he's only scored 1 goal this season, which is ridiculous for Muller. And he may be available, but I don't think United would go for him. Although Mourinho is said to be an admirer of him, he was more the player. I mean, we were offering silly money for him the summer before last, and with Van Gaal, he was offering ridiculous 80 million, I think it was. He really wanted Muller. Muller had a great relationship with Van Gaal. Would he have saved him his job? I don't know, but I like Thomas Muller, but I do think that what Mateus has come out with is the issue. What is Muller's position? It really is behind the striker, and he's not as mobile and skillful as somebody like a Griezmann or a Mata or a Mkhitaryan. But there we go. 2-0 to Spurs. 2-0 to Spurs. Ridiculous. Chelsea are going to lose, so ridiculous. I didn't want Chelsea to lose this game, I'll be honest. I'm quite open about that. But it looks like they're going to. So it makes it very, very interesting. Liverpool fans will rejoice. That's the problem with this. But it looks like it is going to be a loss for Chelsea tonight. And that would put them just 5 points ahead of Liverpool. Liverpool would make ground on them. And they've got to play Liverpool very soon. But only 10 points ahead of us. And we've got to play them as well. So who knows? Let's see if we can get this person on. Matthew, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, Matthew. You're live on the United Stand. I know you've been trying for a while. What was it you wanted to say, pal?
Hello?
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 Oh, I don't know what's going on there. Let's try somebody else. Austin, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, Austin. You're on the United Stand.
Hey, Mark. How you doing?
I'm very good, thanks. You?
Cool. I didn't think I'd actually get on. Cool. So I'm just calling in to talk about Patrice Evra.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are really concerned that he's too old, maybe not fit, that he left the club or when things were poor. I think that he could be a really good sort of mentor to Luke Shaw. Obviously, Shaw is hurt at the moment, and maybe bringing in Patrice Evra would kind of be offsetting to him, thinking as a replacement. But I think as long as they kind of clarify for Shaw that, hey, this isn't a long-term thing, you're our long-term plan, I think that Evra could be a good mentor for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of this Evra deal. I mean, some people are saying it's going to happen. Some people are saying it's a load of rubbish. But I suppose one thing I haven't said that I would say now is that if this Evra deal is for now, in January, then I'm just about, let's do it for the reasons you've just said there, because it's a bit of experience in the closing stages of an important season for us. He would be useful for Luke Shaw because Darmian's no left back. But if it's for the summer, I would have concerns about that, to be honest, because that's like 3 years after he left, another year older for him virtually. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, and I've not really heard much about if he's coming now, or he's coming in the summer when his Juventus contract is run down, because I think that is a valid point. As I understand it, I don't think it is that he's going to come now. I think it's going to come in the summer.
I mean, I guess the one good thing that could come from him coming in the summer would be more of a draw for Griezmann. I mean, obviously the fact that Pogba's there would be a huge influence on Griezmann coming here, but like you guys said earlier, both Pogba and Griezmann have a huge respect and look up to Evra a lot, so I think that could be kind of like a contributing factor for Griezmann wanting to come to United. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And just very quickly, because at the moment the score is 2-0 to Spurs, do you think Manchester United can win this league this year?
I'm not saying that we can't. Obviously, to win the title, we have to get into the top 4 first. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt to look into the future and hope that we can. But I think that we shouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves. We should focus now on just getting into that top 4, and then as long as the cards play out right, if we keep winning, then towards later on in the season, if we do have the points to make it to the top of the table, I mean, obviously, why not think that we could win the league. I just think we need to be a little bit more short-sighted for now, and just try to make those points to get up the table.
Yeah, really good points. Where are you calling from, Austin?
Calling from Miami, Florida, United States.
And what time is it there at the moment?
It is 4:15 in the afternoon.
Lovely. And is the weather nice?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's not
sunny
here.
as can be.
It's freezing cold here. But thanks for calling in. First time on the show, I take it.
Yes, sir.
Great. Well, thanks for calling in. Please do call in again and keep getting involved.
Thank you, Mark. Happy New Year.
And you. Happy New Year, pal. Shaka just mentioned on the live comments there, what would your thoughts about Pepe coming to United be? It's an interesting one, isn't it? It's very interesting. He's sort of somebody that I wouldn't be surprised if he did come to United, but not for me, not really. I don't know, there's something about bringing players in that I don't like, and I don't really like him that much. I've just opened up there as well the subscribe account. We have not had it on tonight, but it's back on now. So if you've not subscribed to the channel, you can subscribe and hopefully get us over 61,200 this evening. That would be nice. If you're new to the channel, this is what it's all about. It's live content, it's live interaction. We do this at least once a week, Skype Goldbridge, where you can Skype into United Stand and dictate the show. HSC MUFC says Pepe won't come to United because he hates Mourinho. And Josh Kirby says, please read this out. I was also going to say, Mark, that I would love to sign Yaya Toure. I know he plays for City, but he would be a gun for us with Pogba and Ander. I think there's zero chance of that happening, Josh, to be honest. But, everybody has a right to their opinion. Arslick Shot says, can't believe it that Tottenham is winning 2-0. I think a lot of people expected it, and the Chelsea bubble seems to have burst. But just shows you what a sort of league it is. It's a very competitive league, isn't it? My concern would be about letting other clubs back into it, like Liverpool, but they will certainly feel that Liverpool. The trouble with Liverpool fans is that result tonight puts them 5 points off the top, and they think they're in a title race. They're not looking behind them like idiots. They think they're in a title race. But we've got to beat Liverpool. The next league game for us is Liverpool. We've got to beat Liverpool. I said this a month ago, we've got to beat Liverpool in a month's time. Even if we'd lost our last 6 games, we'd still have to beat Liverpool because we've got to take 3 points off them, because if they were somehow to scab a league title, let's remember Leicester won the title, so anyone can win the title. We need to stop them. It's now even more relevant because we need to stop them, because if we beat them, we're within 2 points of them. So it's a massive game. It's a massive game. 2 weeks on Sunday. A week on Sunday. Absolutely massive. I'm confident we'll win it. Anything can happen in football, but I'm confident we'll win it. And Mourinho alluded to this the other day when he said, with 75,000 fans with us, we can win this game. And I exactly agree with that. I really do. Can't wait for the Liverpool game. It's massive. Says Live Forever LGX. My cold's kicking in again. Nathan has said, sick of no one dropping points, for fuck's sake. Arsenal dropped points yesterday. Liverpool dropped points on Sunday. Chelsea dropped points today. We've won. All it is at the moment is patience. Absolute patience. As long as every game week we win and somebody above us drops points, it's fine. Spurs have gone on I thought we'd be ahead of Spurs by now, but they've pulled off 3 amazingly good results. I've got to be honest. They won at Southampton. I didn't expect them to do that. I hoped Watford might do something, but they didn't. And then they've had Chelsea at home today, and they've taken 9 points from that. Spurs are bottlers of the highest calibre. They're up there with Arsenal. But recently, they have pulled out some results. So, you know what? Maybe even Spurs fans might think they can win the league. But I'm surprised at Chelsea tonight. Both goals coming from crosses and headers. But there we go. Ashraf says we'll smack the Scousers. Still think City can win the title, especially if Jesus settles. Liam McDyer. Jesus Navas, I presume. He won't settle. Soccer legends. Who do you think will win, Liverpool or United? Definitely United. Privav says, your thoughts on Verratti? I do like him. He's a bit small, but he's a good player. Mark, how about Sam Hutchinson from Sheffield Wednesday? Says Connor Dean. Don't know anything about him, to be honest, pal. Chelsea can't beat Spurs yet we can, says Ricky Clarkson. Well, we were at home, weren't we? We will always finish above Spurs. This win will not matter, says Scorpion 1129 Gaming. I think we'll finish second this year. I really do. But you never know. You just don't know. I mean, I've got to answer that question. Can Manchester United win the league? Of course they can. It is possible. And I suppose this result tonight, if Chelsea do lose, puts us 10 points behind Chelsea. 10 points. We've got to play them at Old Trafford. So let's assume we beat them at Old Trafford. That becomes 7 points. They've got to go to Liverpool. Will Chelsea win at Liverpool on tonight's performance? I'm not convinced they will. So that could bring it down to 4 points. You know, if we're within 4 points of Chelsea come April... and I think we played them in April actually, so it would be massively game on. We know that United have got to do something that's very, very difficult. We've won 5-6 league games in a row now. To keep doing that is very, very difficult. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? That's why I titled this video that tonight, Can Manchester United win the league? Because I think maybe we are still stuck in that mood of a month ago and we need to sort of move into a different mood. The Liverpool game's massive, absolutely massive. But I think if we win that, it opens up a lot of things for us. Okay, really enjoyed the show tonight. Fantastic guests. I think the second one was amazing. His voice was amazing. Duke Dolman. Hopefully we'll get him back on. But really good points. Good couple of questions tonight. Not massively talking about transfers, apart from Evra, but there's lots of transfer stuff. I did my video this morning. There's the one from last night as well. And tomorrow morning, every single morning on the United Stand for the month of July, we are doing a live stream. I know my face looks a bit puffy because I've just got up, but it's commitment for you. But it's also, we've never really done it before, and I quite like getting up, seeing what the breaking news is around Manchester United and feeding it out. And yes, a lot of it might be a load of rubbish. In fact, there's somebody from Turkey tomorrow that I don't think will be signing, but he will be mentioned on the show tomorrow morning. Normally going to be live at 6:30, but tomorrow, because I'm not in work, I've got to go to a funeral. I'm probably going to do it at about 7 o'clock. But pick it up in the day, pick it up on the way to work, pick it up when you want to have a couple of minutes off, pick it up before you go to school, whatever. And that will be a 5 or 10 minute transfer show for you in the morning. And then tomorrow night, as usual, United Stand at 8:30. We'll be doing a preview of the Reading game. And I think it's going to be an interesting one because I don't know how Mourinho is going to approach a home tie against Reading in the FA Cup third round and the Hull game on Tuesday. Personally, I think that it would be wrong if we aren't using the likes of Fosu Mensah, Rashford up front in these games. I think it'd be ridiculous to keep playing Zlatan, Pogba, Herrera, players like that when we can certainly give them a rest. But thanks everybody for watching. Really enjoyed the show tonight. Another twist, Chelsea losing. Probably didn't see that, but I'll see you all tomorrow. 8:30 tomorrow night and also 7 o'clock in the morning with a transfer update. But thanks everyone for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. We hit we hit over 1,000 likes last night. And remember, this is your show, the Skype Goldbridge one, so it's always nice to get lots of likes. But see you all very soon. Thanks for watching.